Hey, folks. We'll wait for a few moments, see if anybody else decides to come on. Um, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to open up my bargain bead box since that came yesterday in the mail. I've just slit the top. I hadn't looked in here at all. So we'll see what happens here. But we'll give it a few more minutes and see if anybody else is going to show up. If you don't want to see what's in the bargain bead box, if you haven't got yours yet, if you do get them, and you don't want to see, just to let you know, hey PK, how's it going? But yeah, if this hadn't came, I was thinking we'd make a button bracelet or two. Work, yeah. Hey Beth. So like I say, we're going to open up this August bargain bead box since I got it last night in the mail and see what we got here. But if I hadn't got that, I was thinking we'd make a couple of button bracelets, at least one. There's two different ways to make a button bracelet, so I was debating whether we wanted to make one or not. But oh, come here, you. Well, I was going to show you what I meant by the two different ways. One way is just to have a loop on the end, a regular loop right on the end of your bracelet itself. And you can make this loop. This is a leather bracelet because these are big hole beads. But if you didn't have big hole beads and you wanted to just do the loop on the end, what I do is I just make a beaded end, say like this, with seed beads. Hey, Miss Tacos. So then there's that. The other way to make one is to make a ring and then a piece of leather at the end, and again with a button closure. So I don't think I have a sample of that, one of those really close, or I'd show you what I mean by that as well. But since we probably aren't going to make one of those today, I will make a future video with both types so that you can see what I'm talking about. So anyway, here's our bargain bead box. So let's turn down and see what they got for us this time, shall we? So here we go, folks. Come on, flip. There we go. So here's my big giant mess all over the place as normal. And like I said, I did slit it open so that I could fold our paper like this so it's easier to read it. There is our package. Take our tissue off. Oh, there's some coreana chain in here. I can see it through our little organza bag. How nice. I've sort of gotten into using this lately. I've discovered that you can use, you don't have to use the little squish kind of crimps. You can use a regular crimp. Though if I use a regular crimp, or you can use a Softlex type of crimp. So I like doing it both ways, so that's nice. If I use a regular crimp on them, I use a crimp cover so that it looks a little more finished. But anyway, let's see what it has to say. This one's called Beach Sorbet. Peach sorbet, not beach sorbet. Boy, Rose, pronounce things right. Inspired by 2024's color of the year, this refreshing palette includes juicy peach tones swirled with strawberry and raspberry pinks, plus accents of cream. Dang, that's making me hungry. I'm going to want some. Raspberry sherbet here. Natural gemstones, including strawberry quartz, hessonite garnet, and rhodonite, combined with sparkling crystals and golden findings for an icy, fruity blend. We especially love the tiny agate peach and handmade lampwork blossom beads. Now, I will tell you, if you get Bargain Bead Box and there's something wrong in your box, hopefully there won't be anything wrong in my box, but if there is, if you contact their customer service, which is support@bargainbeadbox.com, they are excellent to work with for customer service. Usually they will, if they have the piece that you have is broken or missing from your box, they will send you one and frequently send you a free gift just for your hassles. So they're really great. Also, if you're a subscriber, there is a 30% off coupon to the sister site Beadbox Bargains, which I use constantly because it's a great deal. They usually have pretty good prices in the first place, and then with the 30% off, it really makes it really nice. So let's flip our paper over here, and we will dump our bag out. Glass leaf beads. Ooh, okay. Now, these do have numbers on them, so we just got to find what number we're after here. And I'm going to put our little bag right up here at the top so we can just dump things back into it as we find them. So number 1 is supposed to be a 27 millimeter strawberry quartz and brass pendant, normal price $4.99. Yep, that's it. Now, even though they say that this is the price they put on here is the manufacturer's retail price, a lot of times on their site, if they have the extra pieces, they won't cost you that much. This is a really pretty pendant. Get it up there a little closer to you. There we go. So I like this little pendant. I must say I like this shape better. I'm not overly fond of the round, flat ones. They just don't do it for me. Number 2 is a 22 millimeter peach moonstone and brass faceted marquee drop. Regular price $3.99. Retail price. Is that you? That is you. Now I have bought some of these myself. They do have them in various things in various stones on the sister site. This is a really pretty one. This is peach moonstone. The ones I have bought in the past are Botswana agate. I love Botswana agate. So this is a pretty one. I like this a lot. I don't think I've seen a peach moonstone one on the site before. So that's number 2. Number 3 is an 8 millimeter peach quartz dyed round beads, a 15-inch strand, regular price $6.99. Peach. Is that you guys? Yep, that's this. Peach quartz. Those are pretty. I don't think I've ever seen peach quartz before. And it doesn't, yeah, they are dyed. I'm going to say that they probably aren't, that peach is not a regular quartz, but they've dyed them to give them this pretty color. So now they're peach quartz because they dyed them to be peach quartz. Number 4 is 6 millimeter pink rhodonite round beads, a 15-inch strand. Its manufactured retail price is $9.99. That's these babies. These are pretty. Now, the difference between rhodonite and rhodochrosite is rhodochrosite has black flecks in it, and if there's a flecks in rhodonite, it's usually whites or cream colors. So, isn't that pretty? I like this. Ooh, come here, baby. In you go. So there's the rhodonite. Number 5 is 3 to 4 millimeter hessonite garnet faceted round beads, a 7.5 inch strand. $4.99 regular manufacturer's price. Those are teeny, but they're pretty. Now the difference between hessonite and regular garnet is hessonite has a sort of a browny topaz color to it, whereas a regular garnet is a deep red. But those are really pretty. I like those. And those will make great accents with these other colors. 6 is a large strawberry quartz chip beads, 7.5 inches, $6.99. I think that's probably this one. Yep. Now, I can truthfully say I'm not generally a fan of chip beads, though these ones' holes seem to be mainly in the center, which is nice, and they're not, and their edges are rather rounded, whereas a lot of chip beads have some little sharp-like points on them, and the hole is wherever. These seem to be pretty close to the center, which I much prefer. So those are pretty. Seven is a 13 by 9 millimeter, 18 karat gold plated. Okay, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Yan Yun agate peach charm. Ah, here we go. There you are. Oh, that's this little guy. His regular price is $4.99. You know, I saw these on the site a couple of times and considered purchasing them because they're cute. They only sent us one, so if I decided like I wanted to make earrings or a pendant and earring thing, we'd have to order some more, but he's a really cute little guy. What are we talking about? Hi, Anita. So that's our little peach. I think he's cute. Number 8 is 8 millimeter frosted glass synthetic moonstone beads. That would be these guys, which we frequently also call mermaid because of that color shift in the matte. That is a pretty one. So back in your bag with you. Number 9 is 5 millimeter freshwater shell round beads, 14.5 inches, manufacturer's price $3.99. Now, we've gotten these before, and we've got them in different sizes. This is a pretty little size, 5 millimeter. I didn't think it was quite 6, but it looked a little bigger than 4, so 5 makes sense. So those are pretty. In you go. Stop being stubborn. 4mm crystal bicone beads in peach shimmer, 13 inches, regular $13.99. There we go. I was like, come on, where's you at? I've looked through almost everything here. So there's our peach shimmer. Now, we've had some before that were frosted, which I think would have matched this box better, but these are really pretty. I like them. So there's our little bicones. Number 11, 7.5 by 6mm glass rondelle beads in apricot with a gold wash. Is that these guys? Yep, that's these guys. Regular $4.99, manufacturer retail price. So, oh, I thought these were white, but there is just a tinge of a peachy color to them. Apricot. Is that because they call those apricot because their apricots are smaller than peaches and so the color's different? Number 12 is 10 pieces, 15 by 14mm pressed glass leaf beads in olive ombre. That would be these guys. Now, these have the hole. They're pretty, but the hole is up at the top here. Can you see it right here? I prefer my leaf beads to have the hole going all the way through the bead rather than just up at the top. Though these will be nice for like making an accent or something. So there's our leaf beads. Number 13 is 2 pieces, 10mm lampwork glass blossom beads in peach. Manufacturer's price is $3.99. Now I've gotten beads similar to this in pinks, and you have to watch it because these little tips up here at the top can sometimes break off if you're not careful. All of mine look to be there, so that's good. But they're really pretty. So there's our little peach flowers. 14 is 4 pieces of 18 by 8mm stainless steel marquee links. Okay. These are pretty. There's only 4 of them, but oops, I dropped one. They're thin, but they're really pretty, and they feel pretty strong. So they're probably made out of, yeah, they're steel. No, stop trying to escape. So there's our marquee links. Six pieces, 6 by 14mm freshwater shell links, regular price or manufacturer's price $2.99. That's these guys. And I like that they put the daisy spacers on both sides. This these little eyes seem to be relatively strong. Sometimes they do a smaller wire, and I'm like, those aren't very strong. This one is turned opposite to the other one. I guess most of them are. So not really. I would want them to be pretty much straight on to each other. Not that it really makes a big difference because these beads can roll around and they'd be fine, but these will make great connectors. Next is number 16, 1 gram of 4mm 18 karat gold plated brass bead caps. Manufacturer's price $3.99. Boy, these guys are tiny. Let me get a dish out so we can drop them into it so you can see them better. Tiny little guys. Well, they are 4mm bead caps, so that would make sense that they're tiny. But next we have number 17 is 3 sets of stainless steel lobster claw clasps. 3 sets, huh? Well, it does have the jump ring on it, though I usually will change those out unless they're soldered because I don't really care for round jump rings. These are definitely not soldered. This one's not closed all the way. But I probably wouldn't use these much anyway because they're tiny, and I'm not a fan of tiny lobster claws. I have older fingers. They want something bigger than that. Number 18 is 1 meter of 0.6 by 0.9 millimeter brass coreana chain. Its retail price is $1.99. I've been using a little bit of this since I've discovered it, and wow, this is a thin one. In fact, so thin, I think it's thinner than what I've been using, and I'm not sure the magical crimper would work on this. But like I say, that's all right because I would just then use a regular crimp and put a bead cover over the top of it. But it is pretty. So let's... It's like a little fluid snake. It just goes everywhere. Let's see if we can get it sort of wrapped back up again. Come on. Release that little bit of a loop there. Thank you. Back in your baggie. So there's the coreana chain. Number 19 is 4 pieces of 6 by 4 millimeter 18 karat gold plated brass tube bail beads. Brass tube bail beads. These are tiny little guys too, but these are a little... These are like a little bail. They're a bead, but they have a loop on them so that you can use them for a bail. Actually, I have an idea. We could put the peach, the little peach, on a, hook it to one of these guys, put it on the coreana chain, and then maybe put some beads in as some fillers. So, you know, make an illusion style necklace. This is definitely a good idea. So, and then it says, plus free clamshell tips and 2x1 crimp beads as bonuses. So we have the clamshell covers here. Now these are what you want to end your coreana chain with, I have discovered. They work really good. Don't usually use these because they always feel flimsy to me because, you know, they've got that bend right there in the middle of them, and you have to bring them together and then pinch them together and then put a jump ring on to end them up. But I've discovered they work really, really good. You just crimp the very end of your coreana chain and then put this over the top of it. Works really great. So there is the clamshells. And then these are crimp beads. Now I don't usually use crimp beads. These are 2x1s, but I've got to think that these would work really good probably also with the coreana chain because they're really small. And when I first saw them, I thought, oh, look, little ball spacers, but they're crimp beads, which I don't normally use beads because I use the magical crimpers normally, and you have to have a 2x2 with those. So it says that all of these were stainless steel, and the approximate retail value of this shipment was $84.81. I can believe that because there's some really nice stuff in here. So, but what I was thinking when I saw the coreana chain and all of the other goodies that came with, that that little peach would make a really cute little pendant. Here, I'll get a little dump stuff out here. With hey, Susie. So where did our little peach go to? Here he is. And one of those little bales, where'd they go? Probably close to the bottom since I just popped them out. There's one of the ends. There's our chain. There's our little bales. So what I was thinking, here, let's put some of the things we're definitely not going to use on this away, like this. Don't think so, but who knows? These are bigger than I want. It's because that's such a delicate little bead there with a peach. We don't want anything big with it because I think the big would be, well, too big. So I'm thinking that we're going to, I don't want that lobster claw, it's too small. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, what I'm thinking is we'll take our little peach, and if we wanted to, we could even put, did I leave those out or did I put it away? I think I put it away. One of these little links and hook it right here to the link, and then the link to the little, come here, you, one of you come out. There we go. Hook it here, our little peach, and then hook that to one of our little spacer bead, like bale beads. Round, hook, like so. Run our coreana chain through here. And then we can, if our hessonite garnets will go on, we could use those for accents or our little beads here. Or we could even, nah, I don't want to break the chain. We could, but I don't want to. So we're not going to use these unless we wanted to use them instead of that little marquee. We could drop you out, put it, take the marquee out, put it right here. I think I like the marquee better. Back in there with you. Put you away. Okay. If we use the coreana chain, of course, we need to get a couple of these for our ends. Oop, only two. So then we would go up with our coreana chain, and if the little garnets will fit on here, we could make now if I wanted to use these, I'd use some of these little bead caps. One of the things I want to see is if the little garnets will go on the coreana chain. Of course, we'll use a little of these to make our illusion by crimping and then putting the beads on and crimp again. You can do that as many times as you want, once, twice, 3 times. But I think we'll start by putting this little bit together. Folks are quiet today. So close these packages up and put them away because we don't need more than these, what we've got here. So I'm going to get some, where's my gold Tinky Tots? Come here, gold Tinky Tots. And I'm going to take this jump ring off here. It's not quite closed all the way as it is, so. Now, like I say, if I wanted to make some earrings to sort of match these, which wouldn't be hard because you could just use that section I'm working on right here, and I just drop that jump ring, but I was going to throw it away anyway, so no big deal. So we'll hook our little peach to our and then we'll hook that to our bell bead. Come on, go on there. There we go. And now we have our little pendant component. Looks like it doesn't matter which side of the marquee is up. It doesn't matter really. So we'll just put her like so. So there's our little pendant. We don't need these for a while. Now we have to decide how long we want this to be. And I'm thinking because it's such a delicate little pendant, I'm thinking we only want about 18 inches. Ah, yeah, that's important, PK. Those are important to be checked every year. So let's get our ruler out. And we will measure 18 inches of our chain. 12 and 18. And I'm going to leave it 18 even though I probably would only use about 17 inches of this because I have discovered that frequently when I put the illusion pieces in, I don't get them in quite in the same spot on both sides, and then I end up needing to trim just a touch of my chain off to make it match all right. Fuzzy on me. So we'll put the rest of the chain up so we don't get the two pieces mixed up. And then we can put our little pendant on here. Now, see if you wanted to, you could just end this right now because let's face it, this is would be a really cute, delicate necklace without adding anything to it. So I'm I'm just not thinking the shell. The shell just I mean it would be pretty, but I think I want tiny, if you know what I mean. I want little things. This is little enough. And we got to see if our garnets will go on, because if they will, what I'm thinking is a garnet, then a bicone, and then a garnet. And maybe if I can find my tiny gold daisy spacers, we can put those in between too. But let's see if the garnet will even go on our chain here. Oh, it's close. I don't know. Now, these little gemstones sometimes have their holes are sometimes varying sizes, so we can see if we can. But it doesn't look like we're going to succeed so far. We haven't got the garnets to go on, which is a pity because they would be really pretty. But I think it's going to be a no-go with the garnets. Which is unfortunate because I really thought that would make a really pretty combo. So I've already tried half a dozen and none of them will go on. The one started but then stopped, so I don't think we can use the garnets, unfortunately, which is a pity because they were really, really going to be pretty. So let's see what we can come up with our crystals here. I think, like I said, we could just leave it like so without adding anything to it. But we could let me see, where are my gold tiny daisy spacers? Of course, they're normally right beside me and I don't see them. Just a moment. Ran over and got my tube of daisy spacers. Now these are the tiny ones with no rim around the inner thing like sometimes some of them do. And we'll put these away because we're not going to use any round beads. So what I'm thinking is I will, of course I'll have to pull this back off to put our first crimp on, but and then maybe 3 little daisy spacers. Come on, are you going to go down there? Why are you sitting there? Must have had a little kink. And then one more crystal. Like so. With just the peach on it? With just the pendant? Yeah, that's pretty. But I think I am going to try like this, make 2 or 3 of these up the side like this. But of course I have to put a bead stopper on, a bead crimp bead on first. Now I think a regular crimping plier will close these little guys. I hope so, since I don't have any other kind other than my magical crimpers, which won't do these, and a regular crimp tube, a crimping plier. Come here, you little guy down there. Now, since I'm going to do 2 or 3, we want to get these relatively even and decide where we want it to be at. Thinking up a ways for the first one, and then give another little space and another 1 or 2 up the line. So let's see if our regular crimpers will work on this tiny crimp bead. Squish. Boy, this bugger's small. It's like, can I even see you? I guess I did. That's the wrong kind. It's in the wrong thing, obviously. So since that is so tiny, I'm going to add a daisy spacer to the one side. Bing. And then the crystal. This coreana chain is almost like beading wire, but it's a little limper because it's got all those little sections to it. So like I say, it's a little limper of than beading wire is, because beading wire, you know, you hang it like this and it's going to hang straight, and this just sort of flops down, making it just a teeny bit harder to work with. Room. Come on, go on there. Oh, it did go on. I was like, where'd you go? So there's our, then we'll crimp again with here. Now, where'd that go? It just fell. Oh, it's in my hand. Oh boy. Maybe these would be easier like seed beads. Oh, they will. So push this down here. Get our crimping pliers. Use the bottom one. Or you in there right? No. There we go. Squish. Turn. And squish. There's our first little section. Now we have to find the spot on the other side for the next one. I wonder if we could get it away without using any cramp covers. Maybe. They're small enough you can't hardly see them. So and I'm thinking we'll put like 3 of these sections up each side. Now here's where it gets tricky, is to make sure you get the the set in about the same place. So about right there. Now let's see how close I got her if I went way off. Oh, looks pretty close. So now we'll just feed the beads on for this side. And then we'll go up about 1 inch or so and put another set and then another set. Oh, I don't need this yet. That's last, darling. Now we want you. There we go. So now we have the 2 sides on for the first one. And I think I like that. I think it's turning out nicely. Like I said, now we're going to go up about 1 inch or so. Put in another set of these. And I want to put in 3 sets, I think. So I'm going to need to get a couple more of the crimp beads out, but that's all right. So go. And that looks good about there, I think. So we'll just get our crimping pliers out. Put it in the first one, the one with the tooth. Go look, compare where you want it. That looks good. Squish and turn it and put it in the upper one then and squish. And if you wanted to squish a few more times, that's fine. As long as these are not cheap crimps, then it will be fine. So now we have our see, this is a little bit to one side, which I don't really care for, so we're gonna squish it again, see if that'll help. That seems to. So now if you wanted to, I could have gone right over to the other side to put the other crimp bead on so that I was facing about the same place. And do that right now as opposed to putting the beads on yet. Maybe I will, since I have one crimp out here still. And that way, hopefully, I can get them close to where the other one is at. Come on, you. Down you go. Now, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to pull this one up to this side. Then we're going to pull this one and this one together so they're about the same place. Now I'm going to put my thumbnail right here at the bottom of where this one's at. So this one has to come down to where my thumb is at. So. And it should be about the same spot. Hopefully it did. Yep. So that's cool. Now we can put the beads on both of these sides and then crimp them. I was debating if you could use a bead stopper with this chain, which you probably could, but I'd be afraid of bending it because it's so delicate. Oops, that's a lot more than we need, but better too much than not enough. So down you go. Get the squish. So there's the second one there on that side. Now we have this set to get on this side. I'm liking this coreana chain until I made the little orange one with I used the push crimps on that one. I hadn't used it before, but I'm finding I sort of like it. Let's see, I think I need one more. Yes. I think it makes a really elegant look to whatever you're working on. Now we need to crimp this one. Didn't I put the crimp tube on just now? No, I guess not. And it's not a tube, it's a bead. Come on, you. Okay. Now get it in the teeth at the bottom one. Push her down to the squish. Now turn it, go into the top one, and squish it again. Okay, I didn't get you in quite right. There we go. So there's our second bit. Now we're going to put in one more set about the same distance right up here, and then we'll end it. Now I've got to wonder if these little crimp beads are going to be small enough to hold in this clamshell. Yeah, maybe. It's pretty small. So we'll take one of these. Come on, crimp bead. There we go. And we'll find about where we want it. And I'm thinking about the same distance, so I'm going to bring this one up. And this needs to go down just a hair's breadth. That's good. Now I will put my thumbnail on it. Bring it in to my crimping pliers. Push it down to my thumb and squish. Then, looks like I chipped my thumbnail, but that's all right. I chip them all the time. Let's squish the second one. And now we'll get one on the other side. Down you go. Chain got a bit of a kink in it right there when I crimped it. Okay, side by side, down a little bit more. Right there. Pretty darn good. So now we got to load our beads on. This one feels like it crinked a little bit too. How weird. Well, doesn't matter. Now, if you didn't want to use metal here, I suppose you could put some little seed beads or some tiny little, if you can get 3mm ones, like the garnet wouldn't go on, which is a pity because I think that would have been real pretty. with the garnet on either side of these crystals, but if it won't work, it won't work. Now our final bead on our crimp tube on this side, crimp bead. Here, come on, baby. There we go. There's that side. Now we just got to put the beads on the other side and finish it up. And I did this the other day. I forgot. You need to put this little guy on before you crimp the top. So I'm put it on right now so I don't have to worry about it later. Hey, Bonnie. So let's get the other side loaded up here. Oops. There's our last spacer we need. Put this crimp on. Down you go, little one. Now get that in the bottom one, push it down so it's closed, squish, turn it, get it in the top one, and squish. Now this side's done, except for we do need to, one thing I'm going to do is check to see how close these are to each other, if I need to trim any off. Just a teeny weeny touch. See, it's just a maybe 1/8 of an inch bigger, so I'm going to trim just a teeny section off that so it's evened out. I'm going to put this other clamshell on this side so that you don't forget. Get it done right off the bat. And now the last thing we have to do is put a crimp up at the very end. And I don't know if these little tiny ones are big enough, but we'll give it a try. And all you need to do is put it right here on the end. Now, I tend to try to leave just a teeny bit of space up here. Of the wire. See, I just left a tiny tail there. And then we'll turn it. Bring our clamshell up. Looks like it is going to hold in there. That's good. And push our clamshell together. I'm going to bring my pliers in and just carefully bring it the rest of the way. Like so. So there's that one done. Now we do the same over here on this side. Get a little crimp tube or bead. Get hold with your crimping pliers and the one with the tooth. See the tooth right in there? So I'm going to get back up there. Place it carefully in there. Then I'm going to work the wire way up till, like I said, I'd only have a little teeny bit poking out. Squish it, turn, and do the second squish. Now we'll bring our clamshell back up. Test it. It seems to be fine. Squish our clamshell together. And now I'm going to put this stuff back so that I don't lose anything here. I'm notorious for knocking things off my desk, so that's why we're going to pick them up right now instead of waiting until I've got things more done. In you go. Now, like I said, if we had another peach, what I'd do is just take and make this, the pendant part, or if we had two more, into a pair of earrings to match this, but we don't. So here's our necklace so far, and now we just have to put our hardware on to finish it up. So for the hardware, I'm going to get, they've got the lobster claws, which we could use, but I'm not going to because I prefer a much larger one because, hey, like I've said many a time, I have older fingers and they don't like tiny lobster claws. Now these lobster claws do look a little big with these, but with this, since it's so delicate, but on the other hand, it's going to be on the back of your neck. Who cares? Unless you're doing something for the front clasp, it doesn't really matter. Let's test our lobster claw. It works fine. So now we're going to open one of these up. Now, right now, I've got a medium-sized crimp jump ring, which you can use because the lobster claw will go into it, or you can use a bigger one if you prefer. So you have to go through both these little loops on here, and then my lobster claw. Come on, go over there. Close it up. Now I always test my lobster claw before I put it on, like I just did, because sometimes the spring in here is broken and it won't work. So there's this side already on. Just got to put this side on. Like I said, you can use this size or the bigger size. The lobster claw will grab this one, so this is big enough through both of the holes of the clamshell. And that only went through one. See there? And I don't want it to just be through one. It has to be through both. So now we're through both. Close it up. And now, like I say, these are big lobster claws. They look a little unwieldy, but especially with something this delicate, but it's at the back of your neck, and people can definitely work with them better with fingers that are older. So there's our necklace all done. I think it turned out really pretty. Thanks, Beth. Thanks, PK. So yeah, there's our little necklace all done. As I was saying, if we had two more of these little peaches, I would take this whole section here. Well, I might put, instead of doing the little bail, I'd probably use a post. I've gotten into using posts a lot lately because they really are elegant looking. Well, I don't know that you would have to call them elegant, but I think they're really add a touch to your pieces. So there is our necklace all finished. Let's turn up. Oh, we're 10 minutes after. I didn't realize we were getting so late. So let's turn up. Ping. And there it is, all finished. And it's going to be 18 inches, I'm sure. I didn't measure it as we finished, but come on, little peach. Go into place. Yeah. See? 9 exactly. So it's at 18 inches. So not horribly short, but not horribly long. And let's see. This neckline is not one for this, so we'll pull it down a little bit, but see how that would looks right there. So all finished. I think it turned out very cute. Like I said, I might order me a couple more of these little peaches so that we can so that I can make some earrings to match it with just the little marquee piece and the peach. So there it is, all finished. So anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed watching me make this and opening the box. I think it turned out really cute. I like it a lot. So, and like I said, I'm probably going to order a couple more of the little peaches so I can make some earrings too. But it's almost, it's like 12 after, almost 13 after the hour. So we're going to go for now, and we'll see you. We've got recorded videos for the rest of the week, so we'll see you later. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.